Hey y'all, welcome to Monday Night Inking. I have normally been inking for a while by the time I start my regular stream, so hopefully there's not too much of a warm-up gap for me today. And it's also very hot in here, so I will try not to be too smudgy with this. Let's see. Let's start with the containment line on the turban here. Continuing this mole couple from last week. Sort of between gigs right now, so I don't have anything interesting to... Well, not that this is disinteresting, but any of my more normal jobs to stream about for you guys. So I'm working on this. This piece is actually sort of a refurbished bit of character design that I did for a project that is still in the works, but it has since changed enough that these particular designs are no longer relevant, so I can kind of do whatever with them, which means I'm going to just do a random live stream to fill the gaps between projects. But if you're regular on Instagram, you know that I posted a poll to see if anyone was interested in seeing this as next month's auction piece, and there was a good bit of interest, so I might do that. The shadow as the fabric turns the corner there. Yes, at one point there was a moment in my brain that was like, what sort of hat would a mole wear? And I apparently decided sort of turban would make sense. Now that the project is completely redesigned, the characters are a little more naturalistic, so they're not this dressed up. But this was very fun for what it was worth. I have no idea what I'm doing with this fabric right now. Just sort of meandering. I need to get better at folds. I need to start using this rendering like I did down here on his scarf. That worked really well. That looks nice. Yeah, my fold shorthand is getting a little old. I just do the little loops, you know? Air Force Wands joined. Hello with the thumbs up. Milo Mito here. A couple of familiar names jumping in. I was about to post some clips from a podcast I was just on. It was a video podcast. I'll be posting those pretty much right after the stream ends, and I'll link to the episode on YouTube, but it was a very fun episode. Got to talk about some fun stuff. Got to rep some people and talk about art and comics. Transition to that shadow a little bit more. Well, let's try one of these. That's looking good. It's a nice fold right there. Seems to be working. I'm gonna make sure to get, where do we say our light source was? So it's sort of like up and Yeah, so that would be casting a bit of a shadow on her on her forehead here. Actually, let me just finish this edge and then I'll come back and add that shadow to everything all at once. Cast shadow in there. That can be completely black. More solids in there. Okay. You know what? Before I do those shadows, I need to do the little beetles that are decorating her turban here. There's another sort of anachronism when you're doing anthropomorphic characters like this, is like these beetles are technically too small. I mean, I guess theoretically there are beetles that small, but you know, I'm using them as if they are the size they would be on a human. Well, I jacked that one right up. Look at that. Wow. Woof. Woof. All right, well, that's what I get for trying to talk about anachronisms and ink at the same time. Shame on me. All right. I can't fix that with white until it dries a little bit more, because that's one of those inks that sucks up the white unless it's all the way dry. So let me more carefully try to do the other ones. That's a little bit better. Hey, Bueller! Always awesome to have you in here, dude. Oh, that was a breath holder. Okay, let me do this. Go back in here. Get the little wings. Probably gonna want to render those wings. Good evening to you too, sir. Let's see. Just some tiny lines to create curving away from the light there. Sorry, I have to keep tapping the phone again. It's going through that phase where it wants to fall asleep. It's very annoying, and I apologize. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if my reception is bad right now or something. Hey, Dr. Fletchenstein. Good to see you too. Let's see. All right, so now I can establish some of the shadow. Well, let me look at it this way so I understand the shape of the head. Get a little shadow there. There we go. See how much more physically present a shadow makes things? See, now you can see how jacked up that first beetle is. It's a mess. That second one is a little bit messed up, but not as much. Fortunately, all of those things are fixable. Actually, it's just the top here. So let me, that's the fix. Actually, I bet you if I put some more folds here, I could just blend that right in. Not too shabby. I don't love it, but let's see. Let's finish this one. There we go. All right, let's see. This is solid black here. So I have the cast shadow of the face. I'm gonna let these dry a little bit more before coming back in and fixing them up with white. Actually, let me fix up these eye highlights. They are not round like they should be. Little beady eyes. Yeah, in the redesign, they basically don't have eyes at all. Like proper moles, they have the tiniest eyes possible. Okay, so the full solid cast shadow of the head is going to come through like this. There's the arm. I'm going to put that in black. But I'm going to go ahead and render in here a little bit because that's going to get a little bit of bounce to light. Shouldn't have started with that. Sometimes when you're doing a texture like this, you do want to create a pattern, but most of the time you don't. Because a pattern can be very distracting in the wrong place if you're not intentionally making a pattern. High contrast, faces, and patterns are the three things that will always consistently draw the human eye. So those are powerful tools that you don't want to break out accidentally, basically. Bren Draws is here. Hello, Bren. Good to have you back. Okay, so that I'm going to ink in. I'm going to ink in this side over here as well. Let me loop this over. Actually, does she have any? No, she wouldn't because the fur is growing in the other direction. Have to be more cautious than usual about running my hand through fresh ink because it's sweaty in here, y'all. These lids could be heavier. There we go. I always end up bumping up the line weight on everything that goes on around the eyes just to sort of bring it forward. The eyes are so important. Little eyebrows. Yeah, that's another thing about anthropomorphic characters. You have to sort of find a way to fake human emotions onto their not human faces. Let's see. How am I going to do that? Just a little sort of furriness towards the end of the nose there. All right, let me do these feathers. All right. Let's see. Now this back feather is going to be completely black. It's going to be in full darkness, full shadow. So there's that. All right, let me put the line on the arm here. And then I will go fill in some of these black spots. Okay, let me switch tools and fill in some of these blacks. Oops, made a mess. Okay, let's see. Put the cast shadow of the head here over the collar. Yeah, if you're digging head first, like a mole would, one thing you definitely don't want is like basically a cone around your head. So I am on board with the redesign we had to do for unrelated reasons anyway. There we go. Let's see, should I halo that just a little bit? Okay, oh, and the feather, I forgot. There we go. I don't like that feather. I need to fix that up a bit. Here we go. A little less piecey right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take my white ink and fix up these. Where's that brush? Where's the one I was gonna use? Fix up those. Come on. Nope, wrong one. Fix up those beetles that are all messed up. Just dip in the water. And see if I can clean those up a little bit. There we go. It's small, but everything matters. fact, I bet those little beetles would look good with a little highlight on them. But can't do that quite yet because they are drying now. Thank you, Bowie. Always good seeing you in here. We are. Maybe a little more detail on that nose. I was very evasive about the nose when I first started this one. There's always some things that you just don't pay enough attention to in the pencils. They don't give the attention they deserve, and it always comes back to bite you. Let's bump up that little smile. What was I talking about? Oh, highlighting. Oh, wait, no, it was the nose. See, his nose got all gnarly, but I think that's part of his old man look. She can be a little cuter. Sort of the Ma Kent of moles. Because that's a normal sentence. Alright, we need a little more going on here. Here we go, more of a fabric twist. Pop a little highlight on the tops of these. So keep them looking cool. There we go. That's working much better. All right. I want to let this stuff dry a little bit more, so I'm going to jump down to this sort of torso accoutrement she's got going on here. That little snap there, a little attachment. Sorry, was gone for a minute there. Maybe. This could be bulked up a little bit. Yeah, I can really feel the difference that I was not warmed up before doing this. Sorry, everybody. Didn't mean to shortchange you. It's just how my schedule went. Okay, that little strap. It is apparently holding up her belt here, but didn't include anything. All right, let me throw that in. Let me throw it wrapping around properly. There we go. That looks better. Do it on this side before I forget. Not yet. Let's finish working on this. Joey Teeth, hi. A couple more people jumping in. Let's see, let's do these little brackets here. The only thing harder than doing one circle is doing the same circle again. Okay, decent. Try this one too. Similar thing over here. Here comes the loop. Joey G says, I'm sorry if you've answered this a million times. Hold on, let me scroll up. Did you have a question? Or is it still coming? If you did it, I didn't see it yet. I'm sorry. I don't mind answering any question a million times. My phone would just work. Come on. Blacker there. Oh, what is this for? Okay. That's a, actually, no. I don't think I haven't answered that one quite a million times yet. This was originally for a project I was going to be working on, but we have since revamped the project. So honestly, this is just next month's art auction piece for now. We are still doing the project. It's just the look has changed enough that we needed to do new designs. And that's really all. So I'm just sort of making the best of this stuff I already had done. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to get these little shadows. The ends sort of pop up there. Here we go. I think we're back. All right, sorry if we were down for a minute there. Yes, but I was answering the question if they were moles. They are, in fact, moles. Little fat mole fingers here. Who else is working on this project with you? Joey Teague asks. So this is potentially going to, well, not potentially going to be, the writer of this project, which again does look different at this point, is Elliot Rahal, who I worked with on Midnight Vista. He was the writer of that, which was my most recent, technically not my most recent, but one of my most recent comic projects. But I should not say much more about it. Oh, you're a fan. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's a good guy. It's fun to work with. I think he has a fun and visually interesting and accessible idea for this project. So I hope it goes well. And I've been working hard on the real designs to increase the chances of it being picked up, being successful. Let's see, I'm gonna say this side of the nose is fully rendered. It's in shadow. There we go, that helps. Joey Teeth, did you enjoy Midnight Vista in that case? Since you're a fan? I loved it. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Go, working on those. A little more nuance there. It's beetles. This far edge of the line doesn't matter as much because there's going to be some heavy shadow down here with the cloth folds. Her gnarly mole knuckles. probably have pretty intense knuckle calluses. DJ Pilson says, excuse the noob question, what kind of fancy nib are you using there? So this is not a nib. This is a brush pen. This is the Zebra Fuge double-headed brush pen. This end is very similar to a natural brush. Very similar. So I've been using that as I sort of transition out of using more primarily brush. But yeah, I do use nibs sometimes. I have some of these that I use a lot for things like trees and vegetation. But yes, this is a brush pen. It's about $4 to $8 depending on where you buy it, so it's not that fancy either. Well, you're very welcome, DJ. Happy to help. A little hand. So this is where you sort of get into the territory of realizing this was not originally an illustration, it was really more of a concept piece, because there is no explanation for what she's actually doing with her hands. I was just sort of putting things in random places so that you could see everything. Probably could have been less lazy, but I initially thought this one was just going to be for me. Feather those a little because those are on fur, those shadows. And then under that we have the cast shadow of her arm. Oops, didn't do that bracket. Actually, there needs to be some shadow in here. Let's see. And before I do that shadow, well, this has like nicks and textures on it. Okay, so there's stitching around the edge of this. I do like drawing stitching. Actually, do I want to put just a bit of a dimension on there just to help it pop? Go. We start to get some of the fur shadow on this side. Fur sort of springing out because she's pudgy. He just sort of rolls here. So fur does very interesting things when you sort of bulge it like that. All right, I'll come back to that, but let's see. Let's see, Rise of Art says, usually how much time will it take to complete a sketch like this for you? Wow, same airplane sounds. Yeah, the airplanes are all the time. I cannot control the airplanes, unfortunately, and it is way too hot to close the window. I can tell you right now, sweat is running down the back of my legs, and that's a big deal. I don't remember the last time that happened. Anyway, while you all are processing that lovely thought, a piece like this is a pretty small piece. This probably just to ink it or to take the whole thing from beginning to end with pencils and everything. That can be a different, every level of completion is different. I'm sorry there's never like a hard and fast answer for how long things take. They take as long as they take. I think if I weren't live streaming this would probably be like maybe 2 hours just to ink this whole thing, to do it well. Maybe not even that. But a larger piece obviously will take much longer. Okay, got another person asking about the pen. This is the Zebra double-headed brush pen. So there's this end with the fibers. Getting closer does not help. There we go, it focused. This end with the fibers, and this end was just like the foam style brush pen. I basically never use this end though, honestly. I use the fiber end. If you look up Zebra double-ended brush pen, you will probably find this. Let me do some of this on here. Do her collar here. Turns away from the light here. So we're going to get to some rendering. And a little bit, I'm conflicted about texturing that. Maybe I'll just put in a tiny bit to show texture. go. Rise of Art says, well, that's great. In India, can't get brush pen like this. You can't? I mean, I got this one on Amazon. I mean, granted, I'm very ignorant about what is accessible in other countries, but this one is usually pretty easy to get. This gets a little bit heavier here. Nico says, your art is so cool. Thank you. It's very nice of you. Let's see. I do want to fill in that shadow, but let me do one of these chains and then I'll do the shadow because I got to start wrapping this up soon. Probably should have done that with a regular pen, not a brush pen, but whatever, it happened. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go around the edges just to make sure this is a clean edge, but then I'm gonna use a different tool to fill this in that is less smudge prone. Okay. Let's pop out one of these guys. There we go. Okay. Well, that's been about an hour, and I want to jump off before Instagram kicks me off. So thank you, everybody who stopped by. Made some pretty good progress on this little lady here. She's looking rather smug. And I will see you all next week. Have a good evening.